guys just saw me celebrate for running a 579 on the 60 to 130. Let me give you a quick story about this car and tell you why I was so excited, okay? So I decided that I wanted to get a Viper. It's always been a car that is like my dream car, right? I think a lot of us, especially in my age group, always wanted to get to the point where, you know, we could get a Viper and a modded one would be even more special, right? For a gearhead. So I found this one, which is a Calvo Motorsports naturally aspirated build. This car has a high compression 8.4 liter, so it's not a billet stroker crank. It's a bored out block, stock block bored out, a stock crankshaft prepped, and it's a CNC and hand finished set of heads with a custom Calvo cam, all the tricks, okay? When I found this car, I was excited. I couldn't believe that I found a built motor in a Viper, right? So my plan was to get the car. I'm gonna flip this around real quick. My plan was to get the car and play with it naturally aspirated, and then once I get used to it, let's throw some boost at it. So I got with Antonio Calvo of Calvo Motorsports, and told him the car I bought, and he was like, yeah, that car's impressive, it's done right, etc. He said, but it's not really good for boost, maybe some nitrous and stuff. So it's really just like a max effort style NA car. So what it is it's a 13-to-1 compression engine. I'm running 93 octane with a splash of a little bit of E85 in it, just to raise the octane to about 96. It's tuned by Tori at Unleashed. It runs okay, with a cam and a motor this big. It's can be kind of a pain, working the clutch and everything. But anyways, let me fast forward to why that 579 was such a big deal to me. So when I had discovered that this car would not be a good candidate for boost, which I thought it was because I don't know Vipers very well. It has a forged rods, forged custom pistons. So I'm thinking, okay, it's got a built motor. Well, Calvo told me that it's all like lightweight based stuff and it's definitely not a good high boost motor. So I said, okay, I'm just going to focus on naturally aspirated. Well, I went out and got on it a few times and I realized this thing actually moves really well, right? So I started practicing shifting, learning the car, and then all of a sudden I'm in the low sixes and I'm like, this thing could probably go fives. Now, this car also has a 307 gear. Maybe somebody can correct me. It's a gear from an older Viper, okay? And they had it on there so they could spray nitrous, which makes all the sense in the world. If you're a roll racer and you want to do a big shot of nitrous, one of the keys to doing that successfully is to not have gear ratio. Nitrous doesn't want gear ratio. It wants to stay in the same gear and make a ton of torque, okay? Especially for like a roll race. So this car, the previous owners had this car set up for like a built motor, a big shot of spray with no gear in it so they could stay in gear and just go. So naturally aspirated, of course, it's hurting. Now you can say it's helping because I don't have to make two shifts, but the mechanical advantage of a gear ratio, in my opinion, I could run a little bit quicker. So I think that 579 would have been 550s had I had a 355 or steeper gear in it. So anyways, I was a little disappointed to hear that. So I started setting my sights on fives once once I was like, okay, I'm going to have to play with this car NA or naturally aspirated. And dude, I made so many passes. Morning, night. I didn't show even half of them in this video. I just showed like the lower sixes. The way that I was able to get that 579 was learning after pass after pass after pass after pass. There was a couple things. One is I timed the temperature. So this is a month or two ago. This isn't right now in this heat. It was in the 50s. I learned how to shift the car. So in the intro, you saw me power shift that 2-3, and you can barely even hear it shift. I'm pretty proud of that. I mean, I've gotten to where I can shift this car very fast. You can barely hear the shift, right? It wasn't that way at first, but anyways, let me tell you what happened. Once I started power shifting or no lift shifting, it started hazing the tires, and when the weather was cooler, it was also kind of like skipping the tires, like right before the shift, it would kind of start spinning and like you could feel it. And so the combination of a little bit of spin at high speed in the top of second gear and then shifting, when I was no lift shifting, I wasn't timing it on concrete. I was on asphalt and it would spin a little bit and haze the tires a little bit. So after, multiple outings, probably 30 or 40 hits trying to get into the fives, I put it all together one morning. I went out, it was like 52 or 54 degrees. It was a little crisp and dry. The DA was great. And what I did is I made a couple test hits, I believe it was, and then I timed the 2-3 shift on a little concrete patch. And that was enough to do it. And that is why I was so excited because as I've mentioned in some of my other videos, when you have your mind set on doing something and you have your eyes set on a goal and you just work and work and work and work and work and work to get it, and then you hit it, there's nothing that beats that. Nothing beats that at all, especially when you're talking a goal with the drag strip, any measured performance, hell, even like on a dyno, if you have a goal to make a certain horsepower and it's not something that's super common. So in this instance, I ran a 579 with a heads cam compression car. And it has American Racing long tube headers. It's tuned on HP tuners on 93 by Toriette Unleashed. Other than that, it's mostly all stock. It has a couple little aero pieces. I'm going to show you the car before I let you guys go. Again, I tell you guys every time, I love doing this. Like, subscribe, share, and we'll see what's in store for this thing next. I'm thinking maybe E85 conversion and a lighter weight drag pack and maybe some carbon rotors. I'd love when the cold air comes back around to get into the 4s naturally aspirated, which would be awesome. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys later.